of everyday's life. Take you great excitement. Okay, now we're back to earth. Right, and practical and realistic. Down to earth. Right, wait till the end of something. Wait out. And show your admiration and gratitude towards someone who had helped you greatly. You are my hero. Right? Okay. And the bottom line to everything else is taken into consideration at the end of the day. And there's the limit to what we can do. We can only do so much. Okay. Warm up, we're going to have an introduction about Loch Ness Monster, reality, and also something fictional, right? Again, anybody here believe that there may be a Loch Ness Monster out there? Maybe. Yes. Maybe. That means you're open to possibility. Okay. So would I help you to make a better decision after you're reading about this one? Right? It's quite interesting. Okay? Now let's get started. So the rest of you are non-believers. What made you think that there couldn't be a Loch Ness Monster? Why? Why you don't believe in that? Even though they have tons of pictures and a lot of people say that they saw that monster with their own eyes, and it lasts for a century. No. Okay, so no scientific evidence, right? So that means you don't believe in God, right? Because there is no scientific research or evidence for God, right? Is that right? Does it? Okay, let's see how this one goes.
In Scotland, the word loch means lake.
Alright, so Loch Ness means Lake Ness. That's this.
And one lake here is the most notorious in the world.
Notorious means you're famous for the wrong reason. The same as infamous. You learned before?
For over 80 years, Loch Ness has been the place where monster hunters and cryptozoologists have been hunting for an allegedly prehistoric creature.
I remember that legends have persist for almost a century. So if there is a single Loch Ness Monster, it's kind of old, right? Yeah. 100 years old or something.
That shouldn't even exist. Loch Ness was created by a geological fault line called the Great Glen around 400 million years ago.
So the lake itself is very old.
It is almost 23 miles in length.
And it's very big, right? Okay. 23 miles, around 40 kilometers in length, right? So if there is something living in that one, it's not easy to find or locate that thing.
And in some places estimated to be 745 feet deep, which is deep enough for 2 complete statues of liberty.
Right. So it's very deep as well. It's easier for a monster to hide. Right.
They stacked on top of each other. It is the largest body of fresh water
So it's kind of the biggest lake in the United Kingdom.
in the United Kingdom. In 1933, the Loch Ness Monster became a media sensation when a local newspaper reported the sighting of a beast of enormous size.
What does it mean, enormous? Very big one. I remember how we pronounce this one. Okay, we're gonna try the first one, right? So, enormous.
Of a beast of enormous size. Almost immediately, dozens of researchers, hunters, and even Boy Scouts descended on the loch to attempt to capture the beast and claim a 20,000-pound reward.
And they put out, right, a quite big price, right, on the monster's head. 20,000 pounds at that size, a lot of money.
A year later, in 1934, fascination with the monster went worldwide with the publication of...
Right, and then came along the most well-known picture of that one, take care.
This famous image, known as the surgeon's photo, it seemed to show some sort of a creature with a long neck gliding along the loch. Since then, millions have come to Loch Ness in hopes of catching a glimpse of the so-called monster. Of course, eyewitness accounts of strange underwater creatures are nothing new. One of the earliest dates all the way back to 565 AD, when, according to legend, an Irish missionary named St. Columba banished a water creature from attacking Celtic tribes people known as the Picts. Over the years, there have been more than 2,000 reports.
Right, there are 1,000 reported sighting of Nessie. A lot of people say that they saw it.
Sightings of Nessie. It's still hard to say at this point what these witnesses are actually seeing. So we really need to dig even deeper.
It is possible that a monster could enter the loch and then head back out. The River Ness, which connects the loch to the sea, opens.
Right, another problem is that the lake was connected to the sea through a river. Right? So that means there is maybe some monster there and they're living in the ocean, and sometimes it's just to visit the loch and then heading back out, right? So that makes it even harder to find, right? Like when you try to find something there, it's already in the ocean, so none there in the lake.
Some ocean possibilities. This could explain how a very large creature could be seen in the loch, when there don't seem to be enough fish here to support a resident population of large predators. Another lake in the east that many Icelanders believe is home to an immense and
Here's a nearby lake.
ancient water monster. And this monster has actually been
And they actually captured this one on video.
captured on video.
This one,
He said it was moving like a snake.
moving like a snake.
It appears to be going slightly against the current.
And here's some fiction.
He's not bothered now.
Okay, so his dad is looking for Loch Ness monster.
I just about found those feet, James.
I didn't know the lock went so deep as close to shore.
I swear, if we ever do get a peek of Loch Ness, should we wear a knitted turtleneck?
What he meant is that it's very old, very cold, so that's why we have to wear some kind of turtleneck or leg buckle.
The Loch Ness
And the boy himself doesn't believe in the monster.
monster doesn't exist.
He found a good egg.
Where's the nearest hospital? We need to get to this. We don't seriously think there's an embryo inside.
Again, this one's fiction, just in case you're not clear. So his dad died. Right? We're going to continue with this story at the end of class, right? To see how the boy grew up to be a cryptologist and then try to hunt down the monster for revenge. Okay? Now it's time to move on to our listening components. You have to submit your homework first, video summary, and the answer to the first 5 questions. Đây nghe bài này khó không? So với bài short khó hơn đúng không? Cái này theo tôi biết là không có sách đâu. Nói chung show khoa học thì rất là ít sách. Chuẩn bị ví dụ như sai nhưng mà những cái người ta đọc trong này nó đỡ hơn. Sau này còn có chỗ cái máy dừng thì mà đây nghe đến đây dài à? Dương Huyền My, Vũ Quang Vi, Bùi Thị Hường, Cao Đức Thái, Nguyễn Vinh An, An có đây không? Nguyễn Vinh An, Đông Phương Anh, Lê Ngọc Anh. Lưu Anh trước đi sao mà người khác cái gì karaoke show nào chả hiểu. Lê Phương Anh, Lê Phương Anh, Nguyễn Phương Anh, Võ Lan Anh, Võ Lan Anh, Vũ Lê Ngọc Anh, Phạm Quỳnh Chi, Ngô Kim Trung, Ngô Kiến Cường, Lê Văn Dũng.
Khoan nhá. Thế nhá, hai thì
Nguyễn Ngọc Dung, Nguyễn Ngọc Dung,
thông số nhưng mà chiều dài là
Nguyễn Thị Phương Dung,
chiều sâu là
Nguyễn Thị Phương Dung,
cấp bậc rồi.
Lê Thị Dương, Nguyễn Lê Thị Dương, Nguyễn Thị Dương. Đấy là bạn ấy chứ đúng không?
Chị ơi, ui đang yếu pin. Nhưng mà chị có pin đúng không?
Đang ở lớp đâu cho bạn chị?
Còn lâu mấy buổi rồi đấy. Đi về nó lại.
Nào cầm bài của lớp gì?
Anh không đá nữa nhá.
Xong chưa? Mua rồi. Okay, then. Now let's get a moment. Với cái log nét monster này nó hơi khó nên chúng ta sẽ làm cái khác một chút. Chúng ta sẽ trả lời câu hỏi một. Chúng ta nghe thẳng luôn, sau đó về chúng ta sẽ làm sao? Sẽ tra vào xem là câu nào thì câu nào. Tôi sẽ cho bạn đáp án ở trên handout. Và những từ nào khó nó sẽ nhìn sang người đấy. Glossary, nào có nhóm nào chưa có câu nhóm khác không? Nhóm một có chưa rồi. Now let's get started.
An ancient creature remains at large.
Right, and what? An ancient creature remains at large. What does it mean when I say something remains at large? When you say that something, especially a criminal or a dangerous animal, right, is at large, that means it's still at free, and it's not yet captured. Tức là người ta nó đang trong ở ngoài gì đấy, nó đang tự do, nó chưa bị bắt. At large. This one is usually the antonym of in capture. Right? In capture. Okay, let's never mind this one. In captivity, that's right. Good. Yeah. Captivity just big words for capture or arrested. So when you say at last and in captivity, right? Is the right word? Exactly. It means it's already they already got them. Okay. At last, the other way around. So an ancient creature at last, nobody saw that or captured that before.
An ancient creature remains at large, embedded deep within Scottish folklore.
What? Embedded deep, right? Okay. In Scottish folklore. Right? When you embedded something into something else, you insert that kind of thing, right? Deep into. Rồi, nằm sâu trong hoặc là gì đấy, nhúng trong. Okay. Trong ngữ pháp ta gọi là embedded clause này, mệnh đề nhúng, đúng không? Okay. Hoặc là nhúng mạch các thứ đó đều dùng từ embedded. Okay. Embedded deep in Scottish folklore, right? You know what does it mean folklore? Okay. The whole folk culture, tradition, stuff like that. Okay. So.
Embedded deep within Scottish folklore, sightings seem to defy scientific explanation.
What's that?
Sightings seem to defy.
Right. Sighting. What does it mean when you say sighting? Sighting is just the act of seeing something. Sighting chỉ đơn giản là gì đấy? Nhìn thấy. Sighting seems to.
Scottish folklore, sightings seem to defy scientific explanation.
Right. Sighting seems to defy scientific explanation. Right. So when you say something defy explanation or logic, or comprehension, stuff like that. What does it mean? That means it's not logical, right? It can be explained. It cannot be explained. Okay. Defy explanation, logic. Nó đi ngược lại với logic, nó đi ngược, không thể nào giải thích được cho nó hợp lý. Defy. Okay. Như vậy những cái mà nhân chứng người ta nhìn thấy khoa học không giải thích được. Tóm lại. Okay. So.
Writings seem to defy scientific explanation, leaving no stone unturned.
What's that? Right. Leaving no stone unturned. When you say that leaving no stone unturned, what does it mean? That means they do everything they can, right, to achieve something. Tức là người ta đã thử rồi đó, mọi phương cách, mọi giải pháp rồi. And when you say some stone left unturned, that means when you say that some stones left unturned, that means there's still something else you can do about that. Tức là vẫn còn có thể làm sao? Còn có những cái mà có thể làm được nữa, đúng không? Cái hai cấu trúc này nó ngược nhau. Leaving no stone unturned, tức là người ta đã try everything they can. Những cái show khoa học của tôi chọn các bạn thường là cố gắng chọn cái show mà nó có nhiều ý điểm hơn, phản ánh được cái tinh thần của lớp.
Leaving no stone unturned. The hunt is on.
The hunt is on.
Loch Ness is roughly 36 kilometers long.
So it's roughly 36 kilometers long.
And 1.5 kilometers wide.
And 1.5 kilometers wide. So it's quite wide as well, right?
It sinks to a staggering depth of 200.
It what?
It sinks to a staggering depth of.
It sinks, right, to staggering depth. Right. What does it mean when I say something is staggering? That means it's shocking, right? Something startless. Stagger tức là choáng ngợp, đúng không? Đấy, tức là nó xuống một cái độ sâu rất là choáng ngợp. Staggering depth of what? Remember?
It sinks to a staggering depth of 240 meters.
240 meters, 240 mét. Nếu bể bơi thì nó sâu 2 mét.
Making it deeper than the North Sea.
Making it deeper than the North Sea. Ngay cả với biển Bắc là nó sâu cả biển Bắc.
Brought to the world's attention the night.
What's that?
Brought to the world's attention the.
Right. Brought to the world attention. Okay, so we had rise or right to the world or somebody's attention. What does it mean? That means it becomes famous, right? And get everybody's attention. It doesn't matter right to attention or right to attention. It's the same thing.
Brought to the world's attention in the 1930s.
So it became famous in 1930s.
There have been over 10,000 reported sightings of.
Right, that means over 10,000 reported sightings, right,
The Loch Ness Monster.
of the Loch Ness Monster.
And numerous search attempts.
And what?
Monster. And numerous search attempts.
Right. And numerous such attempts. Numerous such attempts. Đây là đã có vô kể những cái gì đấy, nỗ lực tìm kiếm, đúng không? And you know what does it mean, attempts, right? That means you try but you've not been successful yet. Attempt. And nhớ cái từ này ta gọi là numerous, not numerous.
Ness Monster. And numerous search attempts. All to no avail.
What's What's that? Or to no avail, right? When you do something to no avail, what does it mean? Right? That means no use, right? No result. Tức là việc mà chả đạt kết quả. To no avail. This kind of formal and old-fashioned structure. Nói chung là nó hơi cổ tí, đúng không? Ngày nay nó chỉ là no luck, no use. Trong con nói to no avail.
Adjectives, all to no avail. Yet people still continue to see a monster.
Right, but yet people still continue to see the monster.
Many in the scientific community have dismissed.
Right, what's that?
Many in the scientific community
Many in scientific community,
have dismissed eyewitness reports.
right, has dismissed eyewitness reports
As unreliable.
as unreliable.
Dismiss eyewitness reports as unreliable. Citing wildlife
Citing what?
as unreliable. Citing wildlife.
Citing wildlife, right? Citing means mentioning, right? We get cite. And we have, what does it mean, wildlife? Right? That means animal not in captivity, right? Okay. Wildlife.
As unreliable. Citing wildlife hoaxes.
What's that? Anybody heard this one?
Citing wildlife hoaxes.
Right. Hoaxes. Đây là một từ nghĩ mãi mới ra nó cái từ gì? You know what does it mean, hoax, right? Some kind of trick or deceitful trick made by people. Tức là những cái chiêu trò lừa đảo chính là một dạng hoax. Ngày xưa mà nó cứ gửi virus ra, xong nó bảo phải mở ra xem ngay không nó nguy hiểm nọ kia đấy, chính là một dạng hoax. Okay. So a lot of people try to create some fake picture, right, and say that of the Loch Ness monster. That's a hoax. Okay. What else?
Optical illusions for
Optical illusion. Anh ta nghe ở nhà rồi đến lớp nghe siêu chết gì nữa. You know what does it mean? Optical illusions, right? Okay. Trick of light. Okay.
misidentification. Optical illusions for misidentification.
As misidentification. Right? So when you say misidentification, what does it mean? You make the wrong guess, right? Or you identify some things wrong. Okay. Misidentification. So they have wildlife, they have optical illusion, and we have hoaxes, right? The correct answer to that question number 3 is going to be 1. That one's specific.
The numbers of sightings that's been here on the loch,
So the number of sightings that's been here on the loch
over 600 years,
over 600 years, not just the centuries. Right?
even if you take 99% of them and put them in the trash can,
Right. So if you take 99% of them and put them in the trash can, throw them away. Right.
you still have that 1% that can't be explained.
Right. You still have that 1% that can be explained. Ý ông là gì đấy? Với hàng chục nghìn cái thông báo như thế, chỉ cần kiểu 1% nó đúng thôi là đủ chết rồi, đúng không? Không giải thích là tại sao.
I noticed a shimmering object in the water.
So there's the first eyewitness. What did he say?
Explain.
He's a local one, so his accent's quite heavy, right?
I noticed a shimmering object in the water.
Right. I noticed a shimmery object. When you say that something is shimmery, right, that means it's not a stable light. Right? Sometimes you saw it, sometimes not. Right? And the book's going to be shimmer. Right? So when you say the light shimmer, that means it's kind of flickering and kind of weak light. ánh sáng lung linh, ánh sáng lấp lánh, từ gì đấy. Được, hay nói cũng được, đúng không? Đấy. We have a shimmering hope getting into this program. Shimmer. Cái ngôi sao cũng được, the stars shimmering in the night, đúng không? Cái ngôi sao lấp lánh trong đêm. Đây là một từ khá là văn đấy, đúng không?
Explain.
I noticed a shimmering object in the water.
So he noticed a shimmering object in the water.
It took me by surprise.
It what? It took me by surprise. Nhớ đây là vẫn còn là bài tập về nhà, tôi đi khá là nhanh. Take somebody by surprise. Right. You know what does it mean? Right. Từ đầu khóa giờ chúng ta học khá cấu trúc thì chỉ được gì đấy? Surprise. Chúng ta còn nữa. Chúng ta đến câu số 5 đúng không nhỉ? It took me by surprise.
It just struck me as something quite
It just what?
surprised. And it just struck me.
Right. So it just struck me. Right. What we meant is struck me. Right. And the structure, when you strike somebody as something, you give them that kind of impression. Right. So when you strike somebody as something, right, you give them that kind of impression. She strikes me as weird. Cô làm với cô ấy có vẻ rất là gì đấy weird đối với tôi. He strikes me as crazy. Vậy cái từ strike trong trường hợp này người ta dùng để mang hàm ý là gây một cái gì đấy, ấn tượng nào đó. Strike as something.
It took me by surprise, and it just struck me as something quite out of the ordinary.
Right. It struck me as something quite out of the ordinary. So when we say out of the ordinary, what does it mean? Unusual. Out of the ordinary. Một lần nữa chúng ta nhớ cách đọc cái từ này. Chúng ta sẽ xoa âm số 2. Ordinary. Out of the ordinary. That means unusual, right? Not very common.
As something quite out of the ordinary. I took a picture of it on my iPhone.
So I took a picture of it on my iPhone. Maybe advertisement of iPhone? I'm not sure. Does it look like that monster? I don't think so, right? Yeah. It looked like 3 kilos floating around.
It looks serpentine.
It look what? Serpentine. You know what does it mean? Right, serpent is a very big snake, right? So it looks serpentine is the adjective of serpent. Serpent mình gọi là rắn gì nhỉ? Gọi rắn hổ nhỉ? Nó là một loại rắn gì đó tôi quên gọi là rắn gì. Các bạn nào có thể biết Anh không? Serpent nó là rắn mang bành theo của man chặt. Nhưng mà cái con mà quấn thạch xanh đúng không nhỉ? Không, chặt là cái chân không phải. Serpent nó là rắn. Có lẽ là cái con là hổ mang. Là một loại rắn gì đó. So it looked like a snake, right? Serpentine.
It looks serpentine. It had 3 humps.
It had 3 humps. Right. Người Scotland thì hay nói là cái gì đấy? Âm này thì bao giờ thành âm này, đúng không? Humps. Rồi có 3 cái miếu. Lại thế. Thế nào có gặp người ta nhớ đến cho có đủ.
Serpentine. It had 3 humps.
The images from Richard's firm
Right, so the images from Richard's phone
are sent to London to
are sent to London
be examined by
to examined, right,
photoanalyst Tony Kay.
by a photo analyst, Tony Kay.
There is a GPS information.
First, he checked the GPS information to make sure that he said he took the picture by the lake, so the GPS information doesn't match that or not, right?
And that clearly shows that the pictures were taken in Scotland and even better, actually by Loch Ness.
Right, so the picture was really taken in Scotland and actually by Loch Ness. Right, so the location is real. First,
there is a structure in the water of 3 white objects.
Right, the structure in the water of 3 white objects.
And you can see them quite clearly.
And you see them quite clearly
Here. Could it possibly be a reflection from the white houses in the background?
Could it possibly the what? Reflection. Right. Yeah. What does it mean when you say reflection in this case? Right, when you see, look at the mirror, you're going to see your reflection. Right? So it's kind of the image reflected from a Chinese object. Surface. Okay, it's a reflection. Hình phản chiếu. Nhưng khả năng nó là hình phản chiếu của cái ngôi nhà làm sao? Ở phía trên thì sao?
Reflection from the white houses in the background.
Right, the White House in the background.
If you look carefully,
But if you look carefully,
the alignment.
the what? Right, alignment. Right. What does it mean, the alignment? Right. When you say that, you try to align 2 things. They try to put them, arrange them in the right order or something. Right. Tức là cái mức độ alignment tiếng Việt gọi là gì nhỉ? Cái mức độ cân đối căn chỉnh à? Ok, nó không được đúng lắm, đúng không?
If you look carefully, the alignment isn't really perfect.
Right, it isn't really perfect. So it's less likely the reflection of this one. Yeah.
For that, I don't believe that these photographs have been tampered.
I don't believe this photograph had been what?
I don't believe that these photographs have been tampered.
Tampered. Right. So when you try to tamper with something, you try to change that kind of thing, right? For whatever purpose. Tức là tamper là chúng ta đụng chạm vào là cố tình thay đổi. Là hàm ý là tôi có cái thông tin là cái bức hình này đã bị làm sao sửa rồi, đúng không? Để sao cho nó nhìn nó giống Long Neck Monster hơn. Nếu người ta đã sửa thì nhìn nó khác rồi. Tamper.
I don't believe that these photographs have been tampered or manipulated.
Or manipulated. Trong trường hợp này chẳng khác gì tamper. Ta nhớ rõ swap đầu tiên. Manipulate. Âm số 3 này là âm diphthong u cho nên ta không xoa được. Cho nên từ này ta chỉ xoa được âm đầu tiên là manipulate.
These photographs have been tampered or manipulated or photoshopped
Everybody knows this one, right? Photoshop.
in any way.
In any way.
Genuinely believe.
I what?
Photoshopped in any way. I genuinely believe.
I genuinely believe. Right. So genuine in this case means truly, right? That's it. Authentically, authentic or true. Genuinely believe. Chúng ta học bằng từ academic ở trong cái show kiểu này.
Or photoshopped in any way. I genuinely believe that we've got a case of somebody with
We got a case with somebody
the phone cam
with a phone and
seeing something of interest.
see something. Remember this guy we had to say of interest. Right? Instead of something interesting, you can say something of interest. I mean, same thing. Nhớ một lần nữa cách đọc cái từ genuine. Đọc như không? Không phải là genuine đâu.
With a phone cam, seeing something of interest, taking a picture, then supplying the images.
Taking the picture and supply the images.
Taking a picture, then supplying the images as is.
What's the last one? And what does it mean? Alright. So when you say as it, it means in the original condition. Từ as it này là một cái cụm từ mà nhìn qua có vẻ sai ngữ pháp nhưng mà người ta dùng như vậy. when you do you supply something as it, you provide something as it, you sell something as it, that means in original condition, right? No changes. Tức là gọi là nguyên trạng này, đúng không? Tôi tin rằng là người ta chụp ảnh và người ta sắp viết cái bức ảnh đó nguyên trạng, không có thay đổi, không có chỉnh sửa gì. Nếu các bạn chụp trong Mac Monster thì đừng có bật 360 lên, đúng không? Sắp viết thì nó mới được chấp nhận. Ai mà đi Scotland thì bao giờ chẳng nói cái hồ này, đúng không? Nó chỉ là cái hồ thôi. Một lý do mà người ta cho rằng là tại sao cái con này cũng tồn tại nó cũng một cả một thế kỷ người ta cứ đến đây bởi vì đúng rồi, đấy, nó là một cái lợi cho đất nước này, đúng không? Người ta chả tội gì, người ta không vứt trơn lên cả, không gì đâu, mà khách thì ầm ầm kéo đến chỉ để xem gì đấy cái hồ. Bây giờ có một con gì ở trong hồ đã di này cái gì cũng này làm. Đấy là mình tạo ra con kìa. Okay. Chúng ta bán ngô nướng thì bán các thứ xung quanh hồ đấy.
Picture, then supply the images as is.
The first time I saw it,
Second eyewitness. The first time I saw it.
it was in September 1990.
In September 1990, right?
I was driving up.
I was driving up.
It was just like a rowing boat which had overturned.
What's that?
It was just like a rowing boat.
It's just like a rowing boat. You know what is in a rowing boat, right? You have to move that boat with some ropes. Tức là thuyền phải ghé thuyền chèo. Rowing boat. What else?
It was just like a rowing boat which had overturned.
Which? You know what does it mean? Overturn? Overturn means it's flipped upside down, right? Overturn. The other word for this one is capsize. When you say that something is capsized, overturn is word flip upside down. That bị about ngược lên, lộn ngược. Overturn.
It was just like a rowing boat which had overturned in the water.
In the water.
Same shape.
Same shape.
It was very dark grey.
With a very dark grey.
It's like a rowing boat which had overturned in the water. Same shape. It was very dark grey, shiny with the water on it.
Shiny with the water on it.
It was very dark grey, shiny with the water on it. It was about 25 to 30 feet in length.
How long is that one? 25 to 30 feet. So it's quite long, right? It's like 10 meters, around that.
It was about 25 to 30 feet in length and 8 to 10 feet to the top of the back of the body.
8 to 10 feet from the top to the bottom, right? So it's quite high as well, quite tall, right? Around 3 meters, right? Cái con đấy sao nhìn nhầm nhỉ? To như thế luôn.
And 8 to 10 feet to the top of the back of the body. I glanced at it maybe 4 times.
I what?
I glanced at it.
Right. I glanced at it. Right. I glanced nhưng mà từ glance là từ quá khứ cho nó cộng với từ at đằng sau thì là I glanced at that. I glanced at it.
Back of the body. I glanced at it maybe 4 times.
3 and maybe 4 times. Why did you take a picture? Right.
And the final time it was gone.
The final time is gone. Thời gian thời dùng iPhone đúng nhỉ? Chị có iPhone chưa? Bạn có nhớ lúc bạn đẻ ra có nhìn thấy iPhone chưa? Okay.
Many times people have said to me,
many times people have said to me,
many times people have said to me,
of course a lot of people don't believe her account of what she saw, right?
Oh, you must have seen something, it was an illusion.
Right, so you must see something is illusion.
And I just said, no, I know I've seen something which can't be explained.
Right, I know I see something that can't be explained. Right?
No, I know I've seen something which can't be explained.
Polygraph will give you an indication.
Right, Right, so actually they're going to connect her to a polygraph test. Remember that one? To make sure that she didn't make up the whole thing. Okay. Let's see what they have to say about this one. And this one's the polygraph examiner. Right? Yeah.
Explained.
Polygraph will give you an indication as to whether a person is being deceptive or not.
Right, so the polygraph test will give you what?
Polygraph will give you an indication.
Give you an indication. Đấy, chúng ta dùng từ rất là cẩn thận nhé, không phải là tell the truth mà chỉ là gì đấy. Indication này, tức là dấu hiệu cho thấy là người này có nói thật không.
Explained.
Polygraph will give you an indication as to whether a person is being deceptive.
Đấy, and whether a person is being
As to whether a person is being deceptive or not.
deceptive or not. Right, okay. And when you say deceptive, you know what it means, right? Right. Coming from the word deceive, right, and yet deceptive. Okay. Thế là trước chúng ta đã có cái version nhỏ nhỏ của cái đó rồi, đúng không? Đấy. Chúng ta nối với một bạn trong lớp ở đây. Đầu tiên ta hỏi những câu hỏi, máy nó sẽ đo cái sóng, đúng không? Đấy, sau đó hỏi những câu hỏi khó hơn, nó lại đo sóng, đúng không? Đấy, hai cái sóng nó mét nhau hay không? Đó lại. Version rất là đơn giản thôi. Nhớ trước bạn đã rồi cái gì không nhỉ? Không phải mọi thứ đều đúng không? Đấy, chúng ta đừng nghi ngờ cái máy. Khổ.
Whether a person is being deceptive or not. The purpose of the test is to establish that they are telling the truth about what they're saying.
Right, okay. So the purpose of the test is what?
Deceptive or not. The purpose of the test is to establish that they are telling the truth about what they're saying.
Right. Establish whether they're telling the truth of what they say. Right.
Is your name Valerie?
Yes.
Right. So the first question is your name Valerie? Why they ask those simple questions? Remember, it's a kind of baseline. Giống như trước chúng ta có những câu hỏi baseline, đúng không? Để xem là memory size của bạn ở bên nào và thì construct size của bạn ở bên nào. Cái này thấy thôi. Đó.
Do you intend to answer truthfully each question on this test?
You intend to answer
Intend to answer truthfully each question
truthfully, right? Each question
on this test.
on this test.
Yes.
Did you see something on Loch Ness you're unable to explain?
Did you see something on Loch Ness you are unable to explain?
Yes.
Đấy, với những baseline question nó ra một cái dạng sóng cái này, xong người ta hỏi những câu khó hơn mà cái dạng sóng nó không có gì thay đổi thì người ta kết luận là gì đấy? Là nói đúng, đúng không? Thế cái sóng này nó dựa vào đâu? Nó đo mạch rồi nó đo đủ các thứ, đúng không? Trên người đấy những cái chỗ mà nó nối vào, mình chẳng biết nó nối vào những cái chỗ gì. Nó lại nhiều chỗ, okay.
This is today Saturday.
Right. Again, the baseline question is today Saturday. Of course, today is Saturday. Right?
This is today Saturday.
Yes.
Did you see something on Loch Ness that you cannot explain?
Again, that question, right? It's an important one.
Yes.
In my opinion, you are telling the truth when you believe you saw something.
Right. So, in my opinion, what?
In my opinion, you are telling the truth
You are telling the truth.
when you believe that you saw something in Loch Ness.
Right? That you believe you saw something in the Loch Ness.
I'm vindicated.
I what?
In Loch Ness.
I'm vindicated.
I vindicated. Big word. Right. If something vindicates you, it proves that you are true or right. Right. Vindicate tức là chứng minh cho ai đó là đúng, ai đó nói sự thật. I vindicated. Đây là một cái big word.
In Loch Ness.
I'm vindicated. I've proved that for years I did everything.
Right. I proved that for years and years.
Years I've been telling the truth.
I've been telling the truth. So even though she's telling the truth, does it mean that the Loch Ness Monster exists? No, right? She's just telling the truth that she believed she saw something looks like a Loch Ness Monster. It doesn't mean that one exists, right? So keep that in mind as well. So don't jump to conclusion, oh, it exists. No, really.
I was on my own, looking.
I was on my own.
I was on my own,
Is the third eyewitness
looking out at Loch Ness.
looking out to Loch Ness.
I saw 3 humps.
I saw, again, a lot of people saw 3 humps, right? For some reasons, not 2, not 4.
I saw 3 humps in the water.
In the water.
I just cannot come up with an explanation for.
I just what?
I just cannot come up with an explanation for.
I just cannot come up with an explanation.
I just cannot come up with an explanation for it.
For it, right?
Is your name Rico?
Again, the polygraph test.
Yes.
Do we intend to answer truthfully each question on the test today?
Yes.
Do you remember ever telling an important lie?
What's that?
Do you remember ever telling an important lie?
Can you remember ever telling an important lie? I think nói dối lần nào quan trọng chưa?
Do you remember ever telling an important lie?
Never.
Really honest, right? Chưa? You believe it?
In October 2003, did you see something you were unable to explain?
Again, did you see something you are unable to explain?
Yes.
Do you remember ever cheating anybody out of anything?
What's that? Do you remember ever?
Do you remember ever cheating anybody out of anything?
Right? Cheating anybody out of anything. So when you cheat somebody out of something, right? You deceitfully, right? Take that thing up from that person. Là chúng ta lấy cái đó bằng cách là coi lừa dối lừa đảo, đúng không? Đấy, cái này hay dùng nhất là cheat somebody out of money, đúng không? Tức là lừa gì đấy? Lừa tiền, đúng không? Đôi khi nhẹ hơn thì chúng ta bị vào out of love, đúng không? Đấy, nặng hơn thì chúng ta bị cả gì đây? Money and love, đúng không? And innocent, all stuff. Bạn nữ có thể biết thêm làm đúng. Cheat somebody out of money. Nhớ cụm từ là out of.
Do you remember ever cheating anybody out of anything?
No.
No.
In October 2003, did you see something you cannot explain?
Yes.
So again, nothing unusual.
Rico, and in my opinion, you've passed your test here today.
Right, so you passed your test here today.
The polygraph test results suggest that the eyewitnesses believe that.
Right, so the polygraph test results suggest what?
Suggest that the polygraph test results suggest that the eyewitnesses believe that they have seen the Loch Ness Monster.
Right, so the eyewitnesses believe that they see the Loch Ness Monster.
But this does not prove that it exists.
But what?
But this does not prove that it exists.
Right, but it does not prove that it exists. Like why? You know, right? Because they saw something doesn't mean that they saw the monster itself. Now let's watch a very interesting clip about the reliability of eyewitness first. Ở bên chế độ đó là bao nhiêu các em? Không phải bao nhiêu, đâu phải là 8 đâu. Bên kia là bao nhiêu? 25 đi, em tăng ở lên 27 đi. Không, 28 thì được, 28 nóng lắm. Đấy, cái đề 27 xem như nào. Chúng ta sẽ xem một cái clip về cái này đã khá là thú vị.
Eyewitness testimony can be extremely unreliable.
Right. He's kind of a psychological professor, and he says that testimony by eyewitness can be unreliable.
Human memory isn't like a video recorder. Human memory is a constructive process.
Đấy. Đây, chúng ta nhớ là khi mà chúng ta không phải đầu chúng ta là như một cái máy ảnh nó chụp một cái là lập tức là chính xác là gì đấy, như thế đó. Chúng ta chỉ lưu thông tin và sau đó khi mà cần nhớ lại cái gì chúng ta xây dựng lại cái gì đấy, cái thông tin đấy. Những cái quá trình xây dựng lại nó có thể hoàn toàn là gì đấy, được thêm thắt những cái chi tiết vào.
Every time you try and remember something, you are actually constructing that memory.
Right, so you don't just retrieve that image from your brain or whatever, right? You actually reconstruct the whole thing again.
On the basis of traces of the original memory, plus your own expectations and beliefs, and the mind will tend to fill in any gaps that are there.
Right, so if you don't remember something exactly, your mind gonna feel something with your own experience, your expectation, your life, right? Life experience as well.
French conducts a demonstration with two groups of volunteers to show how eyewitnesses' memories can be distorted. The first group has shown a set of 20 ambiguous line drawings with labels attached.
So they show some kind of image and they have some label there to guide the eyewitness. What is it? Right.
After 20 minutes, they leave the room and the second group arrive, who are then presented with the same line drawings, but with different labels attached.
Right, okay, so they use the same image with different labels, right?
For example, group 1 was shown a house, whereas group 2 was shown the same image with the word envelope attached. An hour later, each group is asked to replicate what they've seen.
The next image was eyeglasses. What we were interested in was the degree to which the label that we attached to them would actually influence people's memory when they came to reproducing them. We can refer to one stimulus as being a hat for one group and a UFO for another group. Even though the initial stimulus was very simple, those who had the UFO label would tend to make their drawings much.
Okay. Thì khi người ta vẽ lại, người ta phải thêm thắt những gì để cho nó giống càng ngày càng giống cái gì đấy UFO hơn, đúng không? Đấy, mặc dù người ta không cố tình làm như thế nhưng mà your brain gonna fill in the gap, something like that.
More like a standard flying saucer. Those who had the hat label would tend to produce something that would be more like, say, a top hat, for example. And so it shows the influence that the kind of verbal labeling can have on recall for visual stimuli.
Right, so that means when you saw something you believe is a monster, right? When you think about that, every time you're going to add something to make it look more like a monster, right? And so that's why it's not reliable, even though they are not lying, but kind of they might play a trick on themselves as well.
In the case of possible sightings at Loch Ness, if someone sees something kind of ambiguous in the distance, some kind of splashing around in the water, if they've labelled that in their minds as being the monster, then subsequently when they tell people about what they saw, they may add in all kinds of details that fit with the idea of the Loch Ness Monster that weren't actually really there in the original scene.
Scientist Adrian Shine has scrutinised these obscure waters for more than
They want to examine the lake for 40 years.
40 years.
He wastes a whole life there, right?
He's responsible for the most audacious survey.
Right, what has been audacious? Bold, right? Cái là gì đấy? Cái gọi là gì? Táo bạo nhất, đúng không?
Ever undertaken on the Loch, Operation Deep Scan. At the time, in the 1980s, it cost more.
Right, that experiment cost more than $1 million to run.
More than $1 million and employed 20 vessels
And they use 20 boats.
covering the entire length of the Loch, scanning its depth through.
Này đó là 20 cái thuyền dàn hàng ngang trên bờ, đúng không? Và coi như dùng tia gì đấy, siêu âm để làm một cái màng gì đấy để xem có bắt được con nào. Nhưng vấn đề là vì cái hồ đó là linh kinh biển,
Cái đúng cái lúc đấy nó lại không ở hồ cái hồ đó, chúng ta nó không treo biển nó đi vacation này cái gì
High length of the loch, scanning its depths with a curtain of sonar. They didn't find a monster, and Adrian believed
They didn't find the monster.
that the surface action of the 700-foot deep loch can be deceiving,
Đấy, tức là cái bề mặt của cái hồ này nó cũng gây ra nhiều gì.
creating illusions in the waves.
You've only got to look at boat wakes on a calm day.
Right, you know what has been a boat wakes, and when the boat's running through, right, you're gonna have some kind of trace behind that boat, right? With water, stuff like that is a boat wake. Nên mình gọi là cái đuôi vết gì? Vết đuôi, vết gợn sóng à, hay là cái gì của đằng sau đuôi thuyền ấy?
And you will see lots and lots of multi-hump
And you're gonna see a lot of humps.
sea serpents. And this was recognized by the early investigators of the subject.
For more than a century, large boats have sailed the 22-mile-long loch
Đấy, nhìn qua cái này rất là hump, đúng không?
parallel to shore, sending out rolling wakes behind them. These can still be disturbing the surface half an hour after the boat
Đấy, mà những vết này nó có còn chạy sau khi nửa tiếng sau khi con tàu đã làm sao đi khỏi rồi, người ta càng nghĩ rằng là something there.
has gone, and they are clearly visible from the road.
A bit more difficult to explain the plesiosaur, that marine reptile contemporary with the dinosaurs with the long neck, a single hump. Water birds might have gone for that.
Chim biển có thể.
There are a host of things that can account for it. Logs can be seen floating upon Loch Ness. Logs can be seen apparently swimming against the wind.
Okay. So there are a lot of things that can be mistaken for the monster itself. Cái gì đấy? Này bóng đá. Okay. Never mind. They saw some monster there.
An ancient creature remains at large, embedded deep within Scottish folklore, but this does not prove that it exists. Steve Coles has assembled a team of highly trained divers.
What's that?
It exists. Steve Coles
Right, Steve Carl is his name, right?
has assembled a
What's that?
Steve Coles has assembled a team of
What's the team?
Steve Coles has assembled a team
Right, assemble, right? A team of. You know what does it mean assemble, right? It's just a big word for putting together something. Assemble.
Steve Coles has assembled a team of highly trained divers.
Right? A what? A highly trained divers. You know what do divers, right? People who dive. Highly trained diver.
Has assembled a team of highly trained divers, the latest underwater technology, and
The latest what?
the latest underwater technology
The latest underwater technology
and marine experts,
and marine experts, right?
all to seek new evidence.
And O2,
Marine experts, all to seek new evidence.
O2 seek new evidence. You know what it means, seek, right? To find, O2 seek new evidence.
And marine experts, all to seek new evidence. The team are faced with a daunting task.
The team of what?
The team are faced with a daunting task.
Right. The team are faced with a daunting When you say something is daunting, what does it mean? It means it's difficult and challenging, right? A daunting task. Đấy một nhiệm vụ rất là khó khăn. What's that one?
The team are faced with a daunting task.
Guys, we are at the base of the Urquhart Castle, the epicenter.
Right. Okay. So we are what?
We are at the base of the Urquhart Castle.
Right. At the base of Urquhart Castle. Look at the glossary for this one. Right. The last entry, Urquhart Castle, one of the longest historic castles in the local area. Here in 13th century and situated on a headland overlooking Loch Ness. From the area around this castle, many of the Loch Ness monster sighting have been taken place. Đây là quanh cái này là rất nhiều người nhìn thấy con đấy, nó nguyên đã biết gọi là con gì. Mình sẽ biết là con gì ở phía sau.
Guys, we are at the base of the Urquhart Castle, the epicenter of this mystery for centuries.
Right. The what of this mystery?
Epicenter of.
What's that?
At the base of the Urquhart Castle, the epicenter of this mystery.
What that mean?
Daunting task.
Guys, we are at the base of the Urquhart Castle, the epicenter. We're at the base of the Urquhart Castle, the epicenter.
Anyone know this one? It's actually epicenter. So what does it mean when you say epicenter? It actually means center. Thế tại sao nói center? Vì nói epicenter nghe nó nguy hiểm hơn thôi. Hay nói về this is the center, we have this is the epicenter, the very center of something. Right? Okay. Nó là trung tâm của sự bí ẩn đấy, epicenter. Okay.
We're at the base of the Urquhart Castle, the epicenter of this mystery for centuries.
Of this mystery for centuries. Nhớ cái từ mystery người ta đọc như nào, đúng không? Không phải là mystery.
Epicenter of this mystery for centuries. And some of the things we need to look for.
And some of the things that we need to look for is what?
Aside from the creature itself.
Aside from the creature itself.
Aside from the creature itself, would be areas where the creature can hide.
It's the areas that this creature can hide.
Caves.
What? You know what does it mean, cave, right? Some hollow place inside a mountain or something on the ground, right? We have cave.
Where the creature can hide. Caves. Food sources.
Food sources.
Anything out of the ordinary.
Again, anything out of the ordinary, right? Ordinary.
Food sources. Anything out of the ordinary.
Previous expeditions have been hampered by.
Right. What's that?
Previous expeditions.
Previous expedition. You know what it means, expedition, right? Expedition means kind of an experiment and an adventure, right? Cái cuộc thám hiểm, exploration, something, expedition. Thế những cái cuộc thám hiểm lần trước thì làm sao? Ở đây người ta sẽ nhấn vào âm đầu tiên là sha, số 2, như vậy sẽ là expedition.
Previous expeditions have been hampered.
Have been what?
Previous expeditions have been hampered.
You know what does it mean? Đấy, chúng ta nhớ đi khi người ta thường xuyên gặp những cái từ kiểu như thế này, đúng không? Hamper means prevented or obstacle, right? Tức là bị làm sao? Cản trở, đúng không? Hamper. Hamper. Hamper is what kind of thing?
Previous expeditions have been hampered by the water conditions.
By the water condition, right? So the Loch Ness water is not crystal clear. That's why.
The team are using the latest DIDSOM sonar imaging camera.
Right. So the teams are using what?
Using the latest DID conditions. The team are using the latest DIDSOM sonar imaging camera.
Right. So this sonar imaging camera. Look at the glossary. This sonar camera employs the technology of dual frequency identification sonar, right? Stand for this abbreviation. a land-based sonar that makes almost photographic images with sound with turbid water when optical systems are integrated. Đấy, tức là nếu mà nước mà đục ấy, thì chúng ta dùng kính quang bình thường là không thể chụp được cái gì đâu, buộc phải dùng kính cái gì đấy để siêu âm kiểu như này, đúng không? Okay. So,
using the latest Ditsun sonar imaging camera. This will enable them to see in the dark without. This will enable them to see in the dark.
They will enable them to see in the dark
without the use of bright lights.
Without the use of what?
See in the dark without the use of bright lights.
The use of bright light. Why they cannot use bright light underwater? Why?
That may scare away a monster.
Because bright light may scare away the monster. Chúng ta sợ là chúng ta cái gì đó thật sáng đi. Do you think they're gonna find anything? Just for show.
Within seconds, visibility is reduced to nothing.
Right. Within seconds, what happens?
Within seconds, visibility is reduced to nothing.
Visibility reduced to nothing.
And the divers switch to sonar vision.
Right. So the divers switch to sonar imaging.
And the divers switch to sonar vision. They move through the debris that lies strewn across the loch.
Right, they move through what?
Through the debris that.
Right, they move through the debris. What does it mean, debris in this case? Debris just mean waste and rubbish, stuff like that. Những cái rác rưởi, những cái mảnh vụn cái thứ thì gọi là debris. Sau một vụ nổ hay là sau khi đã đập ngôi nhà đi rồi, we have a lot of debris, right? Broken pieces or rubbish, right? Or waste debris. Những từ này đều là những từ academic cả.
They move through the debris that lies strewn across the loch.
Is that what? The debris that what?
Through the debris that lies strewn across the loch.
Okay. That lies strewn across the loch. So when you say that something strewn with something, that means there's a lot of that thing, right, in a disordered manner. Okay. Tức là strewn ở đây có nghĩa là vương vãi khắp nơi. Strewn. Ví dụ ở đường phố mà vương vãi rác, ta sẽ nói là gì đấy? Rubbish strewn. Right. Street, for example. Right. When you say something like that, that means đường làm sao đầy rác, để dùng để mô tả bất kỳ con đường nào ở Việt Nam. Rubbish strewn. Như vậy cái đáy hồ thì toàn là debris thôi.
Through the debris that lies strewn across the loch.
Across the loch.
While Steve Cowles waits in anticipation.
Right. While Steve Cowles what?
Steve Cowles waits in anticipation.
Anticipation. Remember anticipate? You are expecting and predicting something.
After detailed examination of the images.
After detailed examination of the images.
After detailed examination of the images, nothing conclusive is revealed.
Nothing conclusive is revealed.
New theories evolved to explain the legend of the Loch Ness Monster.
What's that?
Conclusive is revealed. New theories evolved to explain the legend of the Loch Ness Monster.
New theories what?
Evolved to explain examination of the images. Nothing conclusive is revealed. New theories evolved.
Remember this one? You learned this one before, right? Evolve. So when you evolve something, you develop something. Đã được gì là tiến hóa trong điểm này nhé? Chỉ là phát triển thôi. Trong một số học thuyết đã được phát triển để làm gì?
Is revealed. New theories evolved to explain the legend of the Loch Ness Monster.
To explain the legend of Loch Ness Monster. Ngay ở con đấy thành nó có thật thì nó là cái loại gì? what kind of creature it could be. Right? So a lot of people say that's a dinosaur, right? Or somehow survived millions of years and then still exists today. Okay? Thì nó mới dẫn tới một cái trường phái khác nữa, chúng ta sẽ xem đó là gì đấy, time travel. Tức là thực ra chúng ta học về trước cái time travel thì nó hơi khó hiểu, đúng không? Time travel chúng ta sẽ học về cái gọi là cái gì đấy nhỉ? Đấy sẽ gọi là wormhole, đúng không? Đấy, tức là nó cái cửa sổ mở ra để chúng ta có thể giao tiếp với một cái thế giới ở một cái thời gian khác. Đấy. Thì chúng ta có thể nhìn thấy con Loch Ness Monster đấy qua cái wormhole đó và it can exist like millions years ago. We will talk about that later.
Evolved to explain the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. Some believers speculate that the elusive creature is a plesiosaur.
Right, so we talk about plesiosaur. Look at the glossary. Cái từ này, con này có nhiều người đọc khác nhau lắm, đúng không? Với trong sâu, trong cái phim người đọc là plans gì đó, đúng không? Đấy, nhưng mà tôi thấy cái đọc chuẩn nhất là plesiosaur. A last extinct marine raptor of Mesozoic era, right? A period marked by the presence of dinosaur, marine and flying raptor, with a broad, flat body, large parrot-like limbs, and typically a long, flexible neck and small head. Đấy, ok. Đây thì ta nhìn này, đây thấy nó khá là giống cái mô tả của rất nhiều nhân chứng về gì đấy, con Loch Ness Monster và các thậm chí là cái hình, đúng không? Đấy, ok. So that's why a lot of people believe that it may be an existing or surviving plesiosaur.
Some believers speculate that.
Right, some believe or what?
Some believers speculate.
Some believe or speculate. Or some believers, right, speculate. You know what does it mean, speculate, right? It's a big word for guessing. Okay. Số người thì đoán, phỏng đoán.
Some believers speculate.
Rồi, some believers speculate.
That the elusive creature.
The what?
Some believers speculate that the elusive creature.
The what creature? Elusive. I have nothing to do with illusion. When you say that something's elusive, what does it mean? It's not easily to be seen, right? Or meet. Không dễ gặp, không dễ nhìn thấy đâu, nó cứ lẩn trốn, nó tức là rất khó gặp, đúng không? Đấy, elusive creature. Nó dễ gặp thì giờ chúng ta đã chụp ảnh nó cả rồi. Mình mà là mong Loch Ness Monster mình kiếm khối tiền nhỉ, đứng làm mẫu thôi, cho chục triệu. Nếu mà go first bay, go second bay thì cao hơn.
Some believers speculate that the elusive creature is a plesiosaur.
It is a plesiosaur.
A prehistoric aquatic reptile.
What's that?
A prehistoric aquatic reptile.
A what? Prehistoric, what else? Đấy, ta nhớ là history nhưng mà sang tiếng Việt lại trở thành là gì đấy? Historic, đúng không? Đấy, bây giờ chúng ta không xoa nữa, chúng ta đọc đúng là gì đấy? Historic, aquatic, còn nhớ aqua không nhỉ? Aquatic means underwater, right? A reptile. Từ này hai cái đầu chúng ta đọc reptile là gì đấy? Reptile được bò sát, đúng không? Tức là một con bò sát sống dưới nước thời gì đấy? Tiền sử, prehistoric aquatic reptile or reptile.
A prehistoric aquatic reptile spanning up to 20 meters in length.
What's that?
Reptile spanning up.
Expanding up. Right. So when you talk about the length, you can say span, right? That means how long it's going to be. Spanning up to 30 meters or 20 meters in length. Right. Span này có nghĩa là vươn xa được làm sao, kéo dài được bao nhiêu. Ví dụ nói cây cầu này dài 100 mét là the bridge spanning over 100 meters. Right. Span.
A prehistoric aquatic reptile spanning up to 20 meters in length.
It could be 20 meters in length, very big one.
Thought to have become extinct 65 million years ago.
What?
Become extinct 20 meters in length. Thought to have become extinct.
thought, right? The people think that they already extinct, right?
20 meters in length, thought to have become extinct 65 million years ago.
65 million years ago.
Plesiosaurs were gigantic salt and freshwater reptiles.
What's that?
Plesiosaurs were gigantic salt and freshwater reptiles.
Gigantic what?
Plesiosaurs were gigantic salt and freshwater reptiles.
Salt and freshwater reptile. Right? So when you say that this one is salt and freshwater, what does it mean? It can live both in salt and freshwater, đúng không? Đây là cái con mà sống được cả ở gì đấy? Ở biển lẫn ở nước ngọt, đúng không? Đó là lý do tại sao mà nó có thể sống ở biển, là nó múc vào trong gì đấy? Hồ qua con đường sông đấy, đúng không? Okay. Salt and freshwater. Mình đổ coca xuống liệu sống không? Okay. Salt and freshwater.
Dinosaurs were gigantic salt and freshwater reptiles that lived in the prehistoric era.
That lived in the prehistoric era.
Reptiles that lived in the prehistoric era when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
When what?
Historic era when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
When dinosaur what the earth?
Historic era when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Right. When dinosaur ruled the earth. Nó sống với thời gian mà dinosaur thống trị gì đấy. Trái đất.
Prehistoric era when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
They had a short tail, and most kinds had a long and fairly flexible neck.
Right, so they have what kind of thing?
They had a short tail.
Right, they have short tail. Yeah.
And most kinds had a
most guy has
long and fairly flexible neck.
Right, most guy have a long and fairly flexible neck.
They were very successful. They dominated the world seas for 160 million years.
Right, so they was very successful. They dominated the world sea for.
They dominated the world seas for 160 million years.
For 160 million years. 160 triệu năm nó thống trị cái biển.
Some well-known species have endured from prehistoric times.
Right. Some well-known species what?
Species have endured from prehistoric time.
Have endured prehistoric time. Tức là một số cái con vật nó có thể đã sống sót được từ cái thời gì đấy, tiền sử, đúng không? Giống như con này.
Although believed to be extinct.
Those believed to be extinct. Là người ta tưởng là nó đã tuyệt chủng rồi, nó chưa. Nên hàm ý là chả có lý do gì, cũng có thể làm sao cái con kia nó tưởng là tuyệt chủng rồi nhưng hóa ra làm sao chưa, chẳng qua mình chưa có duyên thôi để gặp thôi.
Although believed to be extinct, could there be a surviving population of plesiosaurs?
Right, could be a surviving population of plesiosaur.
Could be a surviving population of plesiosaurs living in Loch Ness.
Living in Loch Ness.
It's entirely possible.
It's entirely possible
that these plesiosaurs may still exist in remote waters of the Atlantic Ocean.
Right, so plesiosaur may what?
May still exist in remote waters of the Atlantic Ocean.
Right, may still exist in the remote water of Atlantic Ocean. Tức là vẫn sống ở những vùng xa xôi của gì đấy? Atlantic, đúng không? Đấy. Thấy là máy bay mất tích ở đấy còn chả tìm được. Đấy.
May still exist in remote waters of the Atlantic Ocean and actually visit this loch.
Right, and actually visit this loch
every now and again.
What's that? Every now and again. Right? Okay. What does it mean when I say every now and again? Every now and then? Right? Sometimes. Đây là một cái từ dài hơn của sometimes thôi. Thế đôi khi nói ta thay vì nói sometimes nó ngắn quá chúng ta nói every now and again, người ta nghe nó có vẻ dài dòng hơn mà nó suôn sẻ hơn. Đây người ta mới hỏi nếu mà nó sống ở Atlantic tại sao nó chỉ vào mỗi Loch Ness, nó vào chỗ khác? Đấy. Bởi vì chỗ đấy nó mới được chụp ảnh, mới được lên báo đấy, các thứ cho nó có chọn lọc cảm. Now let's move over in one structure. Chúng ta còn một vài clip rất là thú vị cần phải xem. 2, 3, 1, 4, 4. Trên làm nhiệm vụ nào. Anyone? Nói nào. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Nhóm 1 mấy? Nhóm 1 phải tất à? Nhóm 1 không gì là nào. Nhóm 2 nào? Nhóm 2 đâu? Lần này khó mà đúng không? Nhóm số 3. Các em có thể trả lại nếu mà thấy các bạn ấy chấm không đúng thì nhóm 4 nhóm 3 mấy? Nhóm 3 2, nhóm 4 mấy? 1 nhóm 5 nhóm 5 3 nhóm 6 3 nhóm 7 4 nhóm kết nhóm 8 9 2 10 nhóm 9 bắt đầu tạo được sự khác biệt giữa 11 nào 2 12 2 13 13 không 14 4 15 16 17 3 18 rồi giờ ta còn ghi điểm summary nữa.
If I am ashamed to say that selfishness took me by the soul, and that my heart turned as heavy as lead within me.
Heavy as lead.
Next.
Music sounds a little bit under par.
Under par.
Is it's overcooked? You spent too much time on it.
Next.
And if it will cheer you up, I'll let you try to seduce Valentina. She'll probably quit, but her cleaning is subpar.
Subpar?
Well, I won't care.
Next.
So basically on the pay front and on the safety front, Chinese firms were below par.
Another below par.
This is not surprising.
Next.
Well, the authority likes to check that the standards of living classes are up to par.
I can assure you that my standards here are well over par.
I'm glad to hear it.
Next.
I just realized we're very different people.
Your father's kind of a head in the clouds romantic, and I'm much more down to earth.
Down to earth.
Next.
Hey, Jesse, do you want to stay and have dinner with me?
I'd love to. Unless you want to unwind by yourself.
Unwind.
After the day I've had, it'd be nice to talk to someone.
Next.
And you too, Leo. You always make my day.
Nice, my day.
When you wave and smile, hello.
Next.
Well, my last name is Cabbage.
I know that, but I've nicknamed you Wolfman because of your keen sense of smell.
Keen sense.
Next.
So fast, you should have seen me. They used to call me the White Cheetah on account of the fact
On account.
so fast.
Next.
You know, Deborah, now don't take this as a criticism.
But brace yourself just in case.
Brace yourself.
Next.
It's a mystery how one woman can drive you crazy over and over again, while another can bring you right back down to earth.
Down to earth.
Next.
Look at him. He's gonna live forever.
Smokes, drinks, parties like there's no tomorrow.
Like there's no tomorrow.
Next.
Hey, so how did this happen? Last night I thought, well, these sheets are already ruined, so I might as well really
Might as well.
ruin them with sex. So I got maybe.
Next.
Wait, that's what you want us to steal? A copy machine?
Yeah, buddy.
It must weigh a ton.
Wait, what time?
Ralph.
Next.
This song is my chance to impress important people. The kind that can make my dreams come true. That's why I've got to finish it.
Well, would it help if I clean the kitchen?
You're my hero.
My hero.
Next.
So, do you guys do weddings? Yes. I don't. She does. She's the baker. And yes, we do tons of weddings.
Tons of.
Gigs. Gay weddings, straight weddings, bent weddings.
Next.
Okay, Max. I've come up with a way for you to work and study at the
Come up with, right?
same time. Like when you shop and steal at the same time. I know. When they show it to me on those security cameras, I'm always impressed.
Next.
You know, it's amazing how you always manage to pull the car right up to the garage, but not actually into it.
Takes a keen eye and a sure foot.
How would you
Keen eye, right?
like your keen eye to watch my sure foot kick your smart ass? All right, pull the car in.
Next.
I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna marry him. Andy, the guy is the devil. Look, I know he's not perfect, but the truth is, at the end of the day,
At the end of the day,
I still really wanna be Mrs. Dr. Barry Farber.
Next.
You know, there's only so much I can do without
only so much I can do
electricity.
without electricity.
But I was able to make some ham and cheese sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, roast beef sandwiches, and of course there's macaroni salad, potato salad.
That's how much she can do.
Of course, regular salad. Then there's pies and cookies and cake for dessert.
Next.
Wait the storm out.
Next.
Sunny, I just wanted to apologize for,
Apology accepted. Okay, you wanna hug it out?
Hug out.
Oh, yeah.
Next.
Yeah?
Hey, Kev, do you know how to get to here?
Get where? From where?
Well, I'm home, but I'm leaving, and I want to make sure I know how to get back from set. I'm planning ahead. Zero compliments for that. Thanks.
You're a grown-up. Figure it out.
Figure out.
Next.
In England, we use figures of speech quite a lot.
Figure of speech.
For example, we say, as quick as lightning, as light as a feather,
Light as feather.
as clean as a whistle, Max, as deaf as a postman. No, Max, post.
Đấy, câu người ta là as deaf as gì đấy. Post, như cái cột đấy, cột không nghe được.
Because posts cannot hear. Neither can my postman. Jamila, as white as you.
Why snow?
Snow. Ali, as smooth as
What do you think you're gonna answer?
baby's buttons.
Cái đấy người ta gọi là metaphor chứ không phải là idiom nữa. Nào, nốt điểm này để xem là chúng ta cảm nhận cuối cái phong trào tiếng Việt càng sôi nổi. Nhóm 1. Một là em chấm cái gì nữa? Nhóm 3 không, nhóm 3 hai mấy? Nhóm 1 bao nhiêu, nhóm 2 mấy? Nhóm 2 không, nhóm 1 không à? 2 à? Trừ 2. Nhóm 4 không, nhóm 5
Không ạ.
nhóm 6 trừ 1, nhóm 7 8 trừ 2 9 10 nhóm 10 trừ 1 11
Trừ 4 ạ.
trừ 4 à 12 Đó rồi, cứ nhóm nào âm là nhóm này đóng tiền. Nhóm 12 bao nhiêu? Mỗi chấm thì mà lâu thế. 13 nào là 3 chấm 14 không 15 6 trừ 2 17 trừ 2 18 trừ 4 à? Số 1 này. Rồi số 11 này. Rồi số 16 và đội số 18. Thế mà cháu nhớ lớp trưởng 5.000. Nhanh, trong vòng 10 phút. Trong vòng 5 phút. Trong vòng 2 phút. Thay đổi chính sách này. Kin smell gì? Làm gì gọi là kin smell? Nó phải là kin sen. Không, phải có mai chứ. Cái phản đối gì nữa? Tức là bạn chịu thêm một điểm nữa đúng không? Bây giờ nhóm 16 là nhóm nhất đã, là nhóm duy nhất đã cứu mấy euro rồi đúng không? Đây chưa được là mấy euro. Rồi, mỗi nhóm đóng cho lớp trưởng 5.000. Nào, ta sẽ đi thật nhanh, ta còn mấy clip khá là thú vị thử xem. Không kịp mà last dài rồi and last đúng không? Define scientific explanation, logic comprehension, leaving no stone unturned, no stone unturned, or you get some stone left unturned. Right, that's the road to world attention. Right. Sorry, together road. Okay, right. You know well. Và thực ra cấu trúc này ta dùng nhiều hơn. Ta sẽ đổi lại cho đúng. You know well, đúng không? Right. Took me by surprise, strike me by surprise, out of the ordinary. Okay, right. Acid. Okay. Cheat somebody out something. Okay, right. Just not that this. What's this one already? Every now and again, right? So let's what intriguing theory about Loch Ness Monster sighting, right? And have something to do with time travel. Tức là đây là cái giả thuyết để giải thích cái việc là không phải chúng ta nhìn nó ở thời hiện tại, mà chúng ta nhìn nó ở thời gì đấy, thì một quá khứ thông qua một cái wormhole nào đó, đúng không? Đấy. Chúng ta sẽ hiểu rõ hơn về wormhole khi ta học trong buổi sang gì đấy, time travel sau. Bây giờ ta cứ tạm như thế.
Sightings of the legendary lake monster are once again on the rise, and there have been accounts of similar cryptids from all over the planet. Canada, for example.
You know what does it mean, a cryptid? Look at the glossary, right? Cryptid is an animal whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated, đúng không? Đấy, ta có rất nhiều cryptid ở trên trái đất như là gì đến người tuyết các thứ, đúng không? Đấy, là những cái mà chúng ta còn không chắc là nó tồn tại không. Và cái người mà chuyên môn nghiên cứu về cái này người ta gọi là gì đấy? Cryptozoologist, đúng không?
Example has Cressy and Obakoba. Japan has Issy, and Cameroon has something called the Mokele and Benbe. All of these mysterious creatures appear in early local folklore, and some have suggested that they look like the offspring of a prehistoric creature called Plesiosaurus. Another interesting characteristic of the loch is the high amount of quartz found.
Một cái điều thú vị về cái loch, cái hồ này mà cái hồ khác không có, đó là gì đấy? Cái nồng độ thạch anh, đúng không? Đấy. Cái mật độ phân bố của đá thạch anh ấy, nó rất là gì đấy? Rất là cao.
Here, because quartz is a stone that sometimes is associated with the ancient astronaut theory. Because of its crystalline structure, some claim that quartz has the ability to convert the
người ta nói rằng cái loại đá này có thể làm sao truyền được gì đấy, cái năng lượng tự nhiên của trái đất.
Earth's natural electrical vibrations into usable energy by a property known as piezoelectricity. Now, is it possible that the quartz content at Loch Ness is
như vậy cái nơi mà tập trung đá thạch anh nhiều này thì cái mức độ truyền giao điện từ trường thì nó rất là cao.
somehow connected to the sightings of the monster?
Và cái này của anh có liên quan gì đến cái chuyện là chúng ta nhìn thấy con quái vật hay không?
I'm in Burlington, Vermont, on the edge of beautiful Lake Champlain.
Đây là một cái hồ Mỹ, đúng không?
I'm on my way to meet Katie Elizabeth,
the one that also had his own monster.
a local cryptozoologist who claims to have come face to face recently with Champ, Lake Champlain's own version of the Loch Ness monster. Like Nessie, there is no scientific evidence of Champ's existence, although there have been over 300 documented sightings. Some people even believe that the two creatures are not only similar, but possibly even one and the same.
Có người cho rằng là hai con này là một thôi.
They think there could be some vast underwater tunnel or link between Lake Champlain and Loch Ness, even though they are more than 3,000 miles apart.
I saw some turbulence in the water, and all of a sudden I seen this dark colored hump rise to the surface of the water. It was something I could not explain. I've seen sturgeon, I've seen whales, I've seen dolphins. I can't explain what I saw. All I know is I saw a hump come up and there was no dorsal fin. It had to be at least 15 feet, but it didn't resemble anything I've ever seen before.
There have been more than 300, 600 eyewitness accounts. Every year here, I get files full of information from folks wanting to share either their stories or their clippings or their encounters.
So these sightings happen to this day. I mean, we're not talking about stuff that happened 50 years ago, but they actually continue.
Right.
I've been told that there's one picture
They also have quite a clear picture taken
that exists that apparently has undergone all tests of authenticity, and I was told you have it.
That's right,
Yeah.
we do.
So this is the original photograph.
You see anything? Yeah, we saw something, right? Not sure what that.
Oh, wow.
This is the one that Sandra Mancy took in 1977.
In July 1977, Sandra Mancy was exploring the countryside around Lake Champlain when she pulled off the road to let her children play on the shore. As she watched them, she noticed a huge disturbance on the surface of the water, about 150 yards out. According to Sandra, a large hump emerged from the lake.
The kids were playing in the water before this creature rose up and turned and looked at her and then went back down. She took the photo and then dropped to her knees, realizing, wow, what was this?
In 1981, the famous Sandra Mancy photo was submitted for authentication to the Optical Science Center at the University of Arizona. To see if the object might have been superimposed on the picture, technicians put the photograph through a series of sophisticated tests, including examining the wave patterns under a microscope and constructing a digital code for the picture to find inconsistencies in lighting. After a thorough examination, they determined beyond a shadow of a doubt that this photo is 100% authentic. Now, does some large underwater creature really exist? And if so, does it have a connection to the one at Loch Ness? The more I investigate this, the more I'm becoming convinced that maybe there isn't something much more than what meets the eye.
You know, Loch Ness and Lake Champlain actually weren't so far apart.
Thế là gì? Trước đây thì hai cái hồ này không phải là gì đấy, xa lắm đâu.
Hundreds of millions of years ago. Back when the Atlantic Ocean was closed, the same mountain collision that formed the Green Mountains here in Vermont is actually what formed a lot of the Scottish Highlands, where Loch Ness sits.
What's the deepest spot here in Lake Champlain?
It's called Split Rock. The lake narrows to about a half-mile wide, and it's spot.
Cái hồ này, hồ cái sâu hơn 700 feet thì hồ này là gì đấy? 500 và nó có cái khoảng rất hẹp, đúng không? Đấy.
500 feet deep at that point. Wow. But one of the things a lot of people don't know about Lake Champlain is that at one time it was actually connected to the broader ocean. And this
cái hồ này đã từng nối với gì đấy? Với biển.
Body of water called the Champlain Sea. Right after the glaciers were treated, the land surface was depressed and ocean water actually flowed in, filled this entire basin, to the point that there's even been whale skeletons found.
Người ta vẫn còn tìm thấy xương cá voi ở trong cái hồ này.
So in the sense that you could find whales swimming in here, why not other creatures? But we do have a lot of quartz.
Một điều nữa là cái hồ này cũng rất nhiều gì đấy, quartz.
There it is again, quartz. Parts of Loch Ness are also rich in quartz. Could it merely be coincidence that both of these lakes feature high concentrations of the same mineral? Could the shared geology of these lakes be one of the reasons for all these mysterious sightings?
Alternative hypothesis is time travel. The quartz is the secret. When you stress the quartz, enormous amount of electromagnetic field can
Khi mà chúng ta tác động mạnh vào cái quartz này, nó sẽ tạo ra một cái từ trường rất là gì đấy, mạnh.
be created. We know that the ultimate basis of space-time is electromagnetic. Geologic stresses on the quartz can generate enormous amounts of power. as is seen in earthquake lights.
According to Dr. Brandenburg, the high concentrations of quartz coupled with the narrowness and depth of
Thế là cả hai hồ này đều có những cái khoảng do cái khe hẹp mà rất là gì đấy sâu, cộng thêm cái điện trường mạnh tác động bởi gì đấy của cái đá thạch anh này.
both Loch Ness and Lake Champlain create a perfect storm of highly charged electromagnetism, the type that could generate wormholes or
Đấy, nó có thể tạo ra wormhole or in time.
in time.
So what we're seeing is creatures from the past in the present.
What if the reason why we can't find Nessie or Champ is that they're really not there? What if the witnesses and photographers have seen not a physical sea creature, but an animal that may have existed tens of thousands or even millions of years ago? It almost is the perfect solution because that means that everyone is right. Because people who are looking for it, they're not seeing it because it's not there. And the people who saw it or who took some photographs, they truly photographed something because it appeared in that split second.
Đấy, wormhole là một cái nó rất là không ổn định, đúng không? Lúc có, lúc là sao? Không, cái hình ảnh người ta nhìn thấy nó chỉ là sao? Thoáng qua trong giây lát thôi, không phải lúc nào mình nhìn thấy được. Đấy, thì hàm ý của cái giả thuyết này là như vậy. Đấy, các bạn sẽ hiểu cái này rõ hơn khi mà chúng ta chuyển sang cái phần sàn show sau. Homework của chúng ta này, về nhà ta làm nốt cho tôi câu 10 cho đến câu 14, đúng không? Và tôi phát cho bạn luôn bài đọc của chúng ta chỉ làm từ câu 10 câu 14 thôi. Sau khi 7 câu cả. Và sau khi làm xong phần 5 nét, ta chuyển sang project One Way, phần bài đọc trước. Sau project One Way ta sẽ sang time travel. Thế thì với lát chúng ta tiếp tục với câu chuyện. Các bạn muốn xem không? Hay còn chơi 10 phút mà cái này 15 phút.
Trong tối phải cho cuối vào đấy. Cậu bên luôn.
Cậu lên monster kìa.
Cậu bên luôn không? Trong đây này đúng không?
Incidents reported in online for them?
You reported?
Nope. Kurt does a lot of this.
The study of unknown creations. That's cool.
Tomorrow morning. Sure. About time.
40 feet. Nothing in this lake is that big. It must be school bass. Go. This guy, Mr. Griffin, taking around is cool. What's wrong?
Sean. They found him in the water. He was attacked. We think some sort of predator may have gotten into the lake, but we don't want to scare anyone until we get test results back.
Hey, wait a minute, Mom. We picked something up on James's sonar. Something big.
Let's see that base scanner in the shop. My dad ran both of them.